All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack Rick Pastoor's highly practical grip methodology for bringing some much-needed order to your chaotic workweek. It is genuinely bizarre that we're never actually taught how to work, despite it being such a massive part of our lives. We're just kind of expected to magically know how to prioritize, manage our time, and keep a grip on demanding jobs. Well, today we're going to change that. So let's start with a quick reality check. Do you ever just slam your laptop shut after a grueling 10-hour day, completely exhausted, barely keeping your head above water, and find yourself wondering if you actually accomplished anything important? It's a terrible feeling, right? You're working incredibly hard, but whether you're actually moving forward is a completely different question. Honestly, this feeling of losing control over your days is totally paralyzing. Well, there's actually a very specific psychological reason for all that stress. Your brain is essentially filled with what we call open loops. These are unfinished tasks, like needing to request vacation days or calling a colleague back. Your brain naturally wants to close these loops so it reminds you of them constantly. But the problem? Our brains have terrible timing. You only remember you need milk when you're unlocking your front door, not when you're actually standing in the grocery store. Because your brain can't time these reminders properly, it basically goes into stalker mode, randomly firing off these anxiety-inducing alerts all day long. To help get a grip on all this, here is our agenda for this explainer. 1. End work stress. 2. Your calendar is sacred. 3. Choosing what's truly important. 4. Dealing with unexpected rush jobs. And 5. The 3-stage rocket for success.
All right, let's hit section 1. End work stress.
Here's the thing. Time is the ultimate equalizer. Whether you're a student, a CEO, or a freelancer, you have exactly 7 days and 24 hours. No more, no less. And since time is strictly finite, escaping that daily stress requires a fundamental shift. You have to move from playing defense to playing offense. You literally cannot look at the amount of hours you have. You have to look at how you allocate those hours. You must actively choose your course.
Which brings us to section 2. Your calendar is sacred.
Think of your calendar as a literal contract with yourself. If it's not in the calendar, it doesn't happen, period. You have to start ruthlessly scheduling what matters. First, log your hard appointments. Second, you absolutely must note firm end times. This forces you to be realistic and really helps manage expectations for everyone involved. And third, and this is the one so many people forget, you critically need to block out travel time, preparation time, and the processing time required for those meetings. It's an amazing transformation when you shift from a dangerously optimistic blank calendar, which honestly is a massive trap because it makes it look like you have all the time in the world, to a fully weaponized, realistic schedule. When you actually block out the time to prep for a team meeting, the travel time to get across town, and the time to actually process your notes afterward, you are actively protecting yourself from your own overconfidence.
Moving right along to section 3, choosing what's truly important.
The classic Eisenhower matrix is a brilliant tool that forces you to mentally separate what is truly important from the things that are just loudly screaming for your attention. It's built on 2 simple axes: importance and urgency. We really want to rapidly shift our focus away from the busy work. Those urgent but not important tasks in quadrant 3, like a colleague demanding a quick fix that completely disrupts your flow. You've got to delegate or delay those. And quadrant 4 tasks, the ones that are neither urgent nor important, like mindlessly refreshing your inbox, eliminate those entirely. Our real goal here is to dedicate our sacred calendar time to quadrant 2, important but not urgent. This is where the long-term impact lives. We're talking strategy, process improvement, and real deep work. Stephen Covey's famous metaphor perfectly visualizes this concept. Imagine your day as a glass jar. If you fill it up first with all that trivial sand, the small, urgent, unimportant tasks, you simply won't have room for the big, important rocks. You have to schedule those big, important quadrant 2 tasks, your rocks, first. Get those blocked into your calendar early in the week and early in the day, or I guarantee you the sand will completely take over. And here is a pretty tough pill to swallow. Even when you identify those big rocks, you likely still have way too many of them. The legendary management consultant Peter F. Drucker really hit the nail on the head when he said, "Choose your priorities and have no more than 2." Look, if you have 5 priorities, you actually have none. You must brutally cut down your major weekly tasks to just 2 or 3 items. You have to actually feel the pain of saying no to ensure you execute your top priorities perfectly. Okay, section 4, dealing with unexpected rush jobs. Let's be real for a second.
Imagine it's 11:40 a.m. You're having a great, highly productive morning, right on schedule, and then, boom, your boss walks in with an absolute crisis that needs your attention for the rest of the day. Now, a meticulously filled calendar isn't a prison in this scenario. It actually acts as a vital dashboard. Without a plan, you'd panic. But with it, you can calmly review your day and see exactly what needs to be negotiated, delayed, or moved to make room for that crisis. When you're dealing with these rush jobs systematically, first ask yourself, does it truly have to happen right this second? If it does, move to step 2. Block off the estimated hours in your calendar. Then, step 3, actively communicate with your colleagues to rearrange any overlapping commitments. See, you aren't just dropping the ball, you are consciously rerouting it. This completely removes the stress because you know exactly what is being left behind, and you've managed everyone's expectations around it.
Finally, Section 5, the 3-stage rocket for success. This simple 3-stage rocket concept is the ultimate answer to that paralyzing midday question of, okay, what should I do next? Just follow the rocket. You don't need to rely on what feels right in the moment, because let's face it, our feelings are terrible at prioritizing. The absolute key here is the strict hierarchy. Stage 1, execute your sacred calendar first. Whatever is blocked out there, you do it. Stage 2, tackle your task list. These are all those quick tasks taking less than 30 minutes, but you only touch them when your calendar block is clear. And stage 3, save your email for the very end. Let me say that again. Save email for last. Email is literally just a list of other people's priorities. Never let it dictate your day before your own calendar is executed. Before we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought from Paul Graham. Take a good look at your schedule right now and ask yourself, are you organizing your time like a manager or a maker? A manager works in these frantic 30-minute intervals, constantly context switching. But a maker, whether that's a creative, a programmer, or a strategist, needs massive half-day blocks to do deep work. A single 30-minute meeting right in the middle of a maker's afternoon basically destroys their entire productivity for the day. So are you planning your calendar to simply manage the noise, or to actually create something meaningful? Start using the GRIP method today, take back control of your sacred calendar, and make sure you're carving out the time to build your rocks.